Back from where I left off, I reviewed my video and I did notice some things that I didn't notice when I was actually doing my live back test. So I can see the accumulation in here, which is why I couldn't see it before. Okay, I don't know why I try to figure some shit out in here. I don't know what the hell's going on in there. But this is a 5-minute zone, which I'm not refining to 5-minute zones. I did in the last video, but I'm not going to do that again. Okay, so I'm going to go back, refine it to my 15-minute, where it's supposed to be, my 15-minute zones here. Okay, so this is my 15-minute demand zone right here. Okay, now I'll go back to the 1 minute. Then let's see where we're at. Okay, so I'm gonna start off looking at my 4 hour, see where we're at. Okay, looks like we hit our zone. Price may be going up. Let me take off all these drawings so we can see clearly. Okay, this is our 4 hour. Overall, we are bearish, 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 bearish. Still hasn't broken up here or up here. So we hit our 4 hour demand zone here. So price is going up. It might make some moves up in these zones here or possibly up here. We just have to wait and find out. So let me go back to the 15-minute zone. Turn my drawings back on. I can see all this mess. Okay, so I can see we had this bearish ManTFX block break down. We had another bearish ManTFX block here, right, which broke down. Let me just go ahead and see where we're at. Okay, so it tested in here before breaking back up. So let me go ahead and rewind it before it touched my zone. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the 1 minute. Okay, and let's play this out. Okay, so price is up here. We're just gonna let it run. See how price plays out. Oh, that was quick. All right. So price ended up coming up here, testing this zone, hitting the supply zone, pushing the price down to hit our demand zone down here. So I'm gonna go ahead and label the Wyckoff that I find in here. Okay, I'm gonna just keep letting price play out a little bit. There we go. So what I didn't see before was that we had, I'm gonna call this our seller's climax. Okay, that's gonna be my seller's climax. Let me make sure that my demand zone is locked in so it doesn't move. All right, then we have our automatic rally here. Okay, we have our secondary test. Here we go, testing the demand or the supply in here before taking price up, breaking the AR, breaking structure to the top side. We go ahead and label that as our sign of strength here. Okay, that's our sign of strength here. Let me make sure this one's locked. Okay, we have our, I'm gonna call this our ST in phase B. Okay, we have our secondary test here, testing the liquidity in here or this demand zone here for taking price higher. Okay, and that's our Wyckoff. Looks like a type, what is it, type 2, type 1, doesn't matter. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back to the 15-minute time frame, see where we're at here. Okay, so we did create another supply zone or demand zone here, which is kind of big. Don't know if I want to use that. Let's just let price play out a little bit. See where it wants to go. Okay, price is breaking higher. Where did it test? Okay, it looks like it tested this demand zone here, which I'm sure on a smaller time frame here, which I don't feel like refining because I'm not refining at this point. But let me just mark up my demand zone here. Okay, so this is my demand zone. Okay, we can see it got validated here, traded into it, less than 50%, came back in, traded past the 50% before taking off. So I'm gonna go ahead and rewind price here and see how I traded into my zone. So I'm gonna go to the 1 minute. Okay, let me just press play and see what happens. So price shoots down. Looks like some wyckoff is forming. Looks like a spring perhaps. Let me stop price or move this. Let me lock this in place because I accidentally moved it. Let me zoom down. We have a little distribution here. Price breaks down. Let's see what happens and how it exits our zone. All right, I'm gonna stop it there. It's a lot going on here. I do see a lot of wyckoff. I have accumulations, distributions, mini distributions, more accumulations with distributions and more accumulations here. I'm not gonna go ahead and label all that. I'm just gonna go ahead and rewind to here so I can go ahead and label this wyckoff that formed in here. Okay, so I see here we can have our seller's climax. Let me go ahead and label that. Mark that as my seller's climax. Automatic rally. Right here. Our secondary test. Our secondary test tested the demand zone in here, or this little demand zone, whichever one, before creating our sign of strength. Okay, sign of strength tested a supply zone right here before pushing price down, creating our ST in phase B. Right here. Okay, before breaking out of this demand zone, trading back into it, breaking price higher, trading back into it, another test. Here, let me just label these tests here. So I'll call this a test here. Okay, price comes back, test the demand zone a little deeper in here before breaking structure here to the top side. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and go back to my 15-minute zone and then just let price play out a little bit and see where we're going. So my last mental effects block was right here to the downside. Okay, broke structure up here, came back down before price starts shooting up. So let me go ahead and label these new mental effects blocks here. So we have this mental effects block here, this down move here, right here, before this up move. We do have little mental effects blocks inside this overall mental effects block. Okay, so we have one here. This goes up. Let's just see what price wants to do. I have a demand zone here. I'm not sure if price wants to come and play into there, but price may want to shoot up, and let's see where price just ends up going. Okay, let's see, price may want to play in this little supply zone or demand zone here. And let's see. Okay, price breaks through this zone, which invalidates this zone. Our next zone would be here. Let's see if price wants to come this deep before going higher. Okay, looks like price is going higher a little bit, but let's just see how price entered this zone here. I'll go to my 1 minute time frame. I'm up here showing this here a little bit. Now let's see what played around here. Okay, price is going down. We have a slowing in price here. This could be our seller's climax, automatic rally, secondary test, ST in phase B, spring test before the markup. So let's just go ahead and label this out. So we have our seller's climax here after slowing in price. Let me lock this zone up. Okay, we have our automatic rally. We have our secondary test right here. Breaks past the seller's climax, probably testing a demand zone to our left or filling some imbalance. So price comes up, test this little supply zone here before pushing price down to our secondary test in phase B here. Also probably testing our demand zone over here where price goes up, breaks down, giving us our spring here. Okay, here's our little demand zone here. Price breaks out of it, trades back into it, tests it here. Let's label our little test before taking price higher, breaking structure here, creating our sign of strength. Okay, probably last point of support before taking price even higher. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my 15-minute zone time frame. Let's see where price wants to play. It might want to test this demand zone here, pushing price down into this demand zone, testing this supply zone into this demand zone. So let's just mark it up and see what happens. So I'm gonna mark up my demand zone here, which Mentifex would call it a supply and demand zone 2.0 demand zone that's created within another demand zone. Okay, and we have our supply zone here. Let's see. So price did not touch my zone here. Price did come and mitigate this demand zone, the supply zone, before testing this demand zone here. So let me go ahead and mark this demand zone up so we can see what's going on here. Right there, right? So let's go back to the 1 minute. Okay, let me rewind a little bit here so we can see how price got into here. Okay, so price just gapped, left a big old gap here. So a little distribution. Let's see. And I assume that's the last test here before taking price higher. Okay, so let's see if we can mark some stuff up here. All right. So price is coming down. We have some slowing in price. Let me go ahead and start marking stuff up. My seller's climax way up here. Okay, we do have our AR. Okay, secondary test, maybe right here. Okay, secondary test, testing some of this demand in here, taking price up before breaking, or let's see, maybe our secondary test here or here, doesn't really matter. Break structure, creating our sign of strength. Okay, price breaks down hard into our ST in phase B. Or can we do it like this? This is our automatic rally, secondary test, sign of strength, ST in phase B, and then our spring down here. All right, price breaks up, comes back down, test a demand zone somewhere in here, I'm sure. This just sold off hard before price breaking up. So let me just go ahead and label this test here before breaking up. Now let's go back to our 15-minute zone and see how price played out. All right, so price does go up, it starts going up. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here, review my video and see if I missed anything, see if I made any mistakes, and come back and keep going at it.